It isn't often that when we're hit with the tsunami of embargo day product reviews on YouTube that I am swayed enough to go out and instantly buy something. But I did just that with the DJI Pocket 3. Ta-da! I think this camera sounds awesome, but this is a hashtag not sponsored review. I can trash this if I want to. DJI don't know I exist. So I thought it would be a really fun video to go out in the real world, take this on a holiday and show you what it can do, but also let's see if those initial shiny sponsored reviews were telling the truth. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. So I'm here at Santa Monica, the next leg of our trip, and I've been really enjoying using the Pocket 3 to document. I think it's such a sort of incognito device, but this is a not sponsored video, as I've said, so I'll tell you all the things that annoy me. The first thing that I've found is when you put it in a certain mode and you get a pop-up at the top of the screen, it hides that it's recording. So as soon as the gimbal moves and you need to change something, you can't actually see if you're recording or not. And it's tripped me up a few times because I feel like I've missed a few first seconds of a clip because of this. And we're recording. I just wish the pop-up wasn't in the way, so I definitely knew we were recording. Yeah, that's a great place for the pop-up. Thanks. But there's a lot of good things about this camera. I really enjoy the active track for these more complex gimbal moves. I love putting it on, say, the middle of a table and walking, because frankly, those kinds of shots are really hard to do with an actual gimbal. So having it on the Pocket 3 makes it really, really simple. And another thing that is amazing is the audio. It connects instantly and it really is idiot-proof. So one feature I love for the Pocket 3 is sometimes we don't always want to be in the center of the frame, and sometimes we want to be able to concentrate on other things while that's happening. And with dynamic frame, I can pop a pin in any corner of the screen, and no matter where I go, I should stay in that quadrant. So it's really handy if you want to vlog and you want to look away and look where you're going, because you know that you're going to be where you want to be in the frame. And I think that's really cool. So when I first started using the Pocket, I had it that when I turned the screen, it would automatically turn off, but I've actually found it more useful to, when I turn the screen portrait, we get portrait video, because I don't make enough blooming portrait content. And having this so quickly able to turn from this to this is so handy. All I have to do is switch the screen from landscape to portrait and it automatically changes for me. So I am entirely in love with the bloody mist filter on this, and incredibly in love with the photography. I love that you can just turn the screen, landscape or portrait, really quickly to get your photographs and shoot in RAW. And also, look at me guys, I'm actually vlogging in a very public place and I don't actually feel too self-conscious because it's so blooming small. If you do get this, I would highly recommend the mist filter. I mean, look at some of this footage, guys. I am so impressed with this camera. I think aside from the G9 Mark II, this is honestly the best piece of camera tech that I've tried in 2023. I think this lowers the barrier of content creation entry for everyone. Like, you've got everything that you need and you can do it in a low-key way where you feel comfortable. You've got brilliant audio. You can literally start recording within seconds. I think it's really, really good. It's not perfect. There's some things that annoy me. For instance, the soft case that you get with it is absolutely useless because it doesn't fit the hard shell in. So you have to make the decision of, like, do you want all of the accessories, all the black accessories in a black bag that's really fiddly, or do you want to just use the hard shell and keep some things separate? And that's the decision I've made, because I think the hard shell is definitely the best solution that I've found. So this is just the built-in audio from the Pocket 3. I'm at the Griffiths Observatory near the Hollywood Sign, using active track to sort of keep me in position, because, you know, there's a lot of people around and I want to watch where I'm going, but I know that the camera's going to follow me no matter what I do. So this is the wide angle attachment, and I think it just gives you a little bit more real estate, kind of like a GoPro maybe. I like that you see less arm and it's a more natural sort of composition. Let me just show you the difference. This is without, so not bad, not bad, certainly usable. And this is with. Without and with. Without and with. So originally, after walking on Santa Monica Pier at night, I was like, the photographs from this are really cool. And I was a little bit in love with the mist filter. Having reviewed it now on my laptop while I'm out here, the little screen is very forgiving. I think the mist filter is a little bit too strong for my liking, but you can get some good effects with it. And also composing with the little screen is really quite challenging. So obviously it was never meant to be like a photography tool, but I just thought it would be quite fun to test it out. I think there's loads of information in the raws, but actually composing using the Pocket 3 is quite a nightmare. Also, I'm just vlogging at the Hollywood sign. What is my life? So, Emily, you have 800 cameras. Why on earth did you want a Pocket 3? Is it all hype? Well, one thing you may not know about me is I bloomin' hate traditional vlogging in public. You know, like when you've got the big camera and the big fluffy microphone and the gimbal and, you know, you sort of Casey Neistat around the place, and I just feel like, all right, weirdo. But with the Pocket, for whatever reason, because it's small, because maybe it looks a little bit less intimidating to myself and others, I just wanted it to be like a video-centric everyday carry. So I've got things like my GX8 for photography. You know I love a tiny camera, but they're not great for video. So I wanted something that could be my everyday carry for video that I would actually bloomin' use, because sometimes when I have massive cameras with me, like I've got a G9 Mark II out today, but the idea of walking around doing this with a G9 Mark II mortifies me. But this seems perfectly fine. And there's people here. You know, it's quite a busy place. It's quite liberating. Am I a vlogger now? Is that something I feel comfortable with? Also, while we're being candid, I shoot a lot of my B-roll on my phone because I'm quite lazy, and sometimes it's just more convenient. And sometimes I'm using cameras like this where the video isn't very good anyway. And there's no excuse for it because I have really good cameras. But I'm hoping that when I'm out and about, that I can use this. I mean, this is just on a tripod now. It's just sort of on a bin at Griffith's Observatory. And it's following me around. Like, how cool is that? It's like I've got my own little cameraman, or woman, or robot. So yeah, I'm hoping this is a convenient way to up my B-roll quality on the channel. So obviously there's a lot of things I love about this camera, but this is hashtag not sponsored. One thing that has done my head in during this trip is I still find the menus a little bit fiddly. The larger screen is a heck of a lot better than the previous iterations of this camera, but I find just by process of elimination that I'm swiping up, down, left, right, trying to figure out where everything is all the blooming time. I'm hoping that that'll improve with time, but I do find the screen a little bit more laggy than I would like it to be. It's got everything that you need without the phone, which is why I love it, but it is a little bit fiddly.
So I've owned the Osmo Pocket iterations from the first one. So the Osmo Pocket 1, I had the 2, and of course it's now the 3rd one. And compared to the first 2, this one is leaps and bounds better than what they used to be in terms of the design, the ergonomics, the menus, the features, etc., and also the low light performance. One thing that I've been very jealous about is the fact that Em can just get this thing out, film really smooth, really nice looking footage with great audio, and it takes the best part of 5 seconds. Yet for me, I'm still bringing my big cameras and gimbals and stuff. So I think it's great. I think it's really good. And I think for the £400, £500 price point, there's probably nothing that really competes with it in terms of being the perfect sort of pocket accessory for creators. So yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
No worries.
So what did you think of the footage from the Pocket 3? I bloomin' love it, to be honest. I've been colour grading it all today, and the push and pull in the files has really impressed me, given that it is a smaller sensor. I think this is definitely going to earn its place in my lineup in 2024 and beyond. There's one thing I didn't cover in the video while I was out in LA, and that was how much I love motion time lapses. I used to go above and beyond taking out my gimbal and setting the waypoints and doing all that fun stuff. And It's a right pain in the backside. But with the Pocket 3, you can just set 2 waypoints, stick it down, and get some really cool motion time lapses. Fun fact, I left this at Johnny Cash's ranch while we had a surprise visit from some Hollywood monkeys. And they put the monkeys right above my Pocket 3 where it was doing a time lapse, and I was absolutely convinced that I would come back to lots and lots of monkey pee on my device. But thankfully the monkeys held it in, and this was the time lapse that I got as the sun was going down in Ojai. So now that I've had a little bit longer with the device since I've filmed the first portion of this video, I still think the menus are a little bit fiddly, but it is getting better over time. I love that you do have custom modes as well. So on mine, I have standard 24p with a flat profile. I have low light, which won't let you have the log profile, but will boost the ISO and give you that lovely low light performance. Then I have 4K 60, and then I have motion time lapse. It does do 4K 120p, but I haven't had need for it just yet. I'm sure I will in the coming months. Have you bought one? Are you thinking of buying one? Do you think it's a gimmick? Do you think it's the future? I honestly can't wait to see where this ends up. I mean, one day there may be an APS-C version, or maybe even a full frame version. Imagine that. That would be so mad. So check out more from this trip. My previous video is all about the Lumix Collective and how I got on with my G9 Mark II as my travel hybrid camera.